Well, I've been putting off telling this story for a while, but it is documented, and I think it's somewhere Wave Street Studios. So years ago, when Kira Anton and myself were teaching and doing these seminars together, we would be examining different parts of ourselves and what we were teaching. Entomology of this whole thing, in other words, the basic sound vibrations and playing with them. Kira more on a musical and me more on a different frequency type, but blending it together in some kind of interpretation. In other words, we're experimenting with the primal sounds, trying to understand from a lot of different traditions, you know? So that's how this whole little experiment started. So the idea was, well, what are these chants? Would any sound like of those particular sounds that we're using, the sa, the ta, the na, the basic sounds that we're using, would the combination matter and the meaning matter if we just the sounds themselves? Would that be enough? Or when does that have to engage the actual meaning, and then can the meaning just be a matter of interpretive languages then at that point? Would have to tie in together to the whole model of endocrine, that whole thing has to line up. Okay. So that's how this started. That's how this conversation started. So being back in the 60s, that whole Mr. Natural thing from the Berkeley era, and I used to teach there, so God knows, well, there's a certain resemblance here at this point in life, So there was a mantra that Mr. Natural taught to get rid of some of his, well, we call it fanboys, students that were getting a little bit too cozy. Those. Anyway, so the mantra is, well, I'll show you how we chanted it. Imagine the class now, we're sitting with, and this is recorded, I think we have 6 cameras and cameramen. This is a professional recorded thing, this is like somewhat of a big deal. We had a TV show at the time. And so it's a serious audience, serious yoga students coming from all around. So I said, well, we're going to do an experiment. We're going to try a different mantra tonight and not tell you the meaning until afterwards, and just see how the sounds themselves affect the different centers of consciousness. But the way we're doing it is we're chanting it, we're pulling it in. The mantra is Owa Tagu Sayam, and you're pulling the navel in as you do it. So it's Owa Tagu Sayam. So set them straight spine, right? Everybody's serious, like this is cool. We're experimenting. Chant that for 11 minutes, pulling the root lock, pulling it up, visualizing that, pulsating that energy up the spine as you do this. Owa Tagu Sayam, and setting your breath in the midst of that. Okay, nice little Kundalini Kriya there. All right, well, after 11 minutes, said, well, come out of it, guys. To inhale, no, they couldn't stop. Seriously, it was stuck. It took me a while to literally stop, guys. And then the real problem was being the old sense of humor. This is what I have to apologize for, Well, oh, what a goose I am. That's what you're chanting. Oh, what a goose I am. Oh, what a goose I am. And that realization, with the overlay of something that was profoundly affected them on some spiritual level, I do have to apologize. I mean, I have to share this story as something, don't do this. I think I'm still having those karmas being paid. This is part of my apology. Okay, so now.